December 10, what have you got for us? We're probably still feeling that Mars, Saturn square. So just be a little bit kind on yourself. We are starting to move away from it. We will be kind of away from it by the middle of the day. The major part of it will stop having a lot of friction. So if you're waking up feeling angry, okay. So 3:59 a.m., the sun makes a biquintal to Jupiter. Very interesting aspect, okay? So there is an outworn idea that you have been kind of skirting around when it comes to your authentic expression in family spaces and what you were taught, okay? Now, Jupiter is now at 23 degrees of its retrograde in Cancer. And that's what we're looking at. Are you nurturing your authenticity? Where wasn't that nurtured as a child? Where were you made to feel like a weirdo? Where was it that you really weren't understood when it comes to your whole concept of self-expression as a child? Okay, because 17 degrees with that sun is dealing with the Leo degree, so that's got a lot to do with your inner child as well, but it also has a lot to do with enjoyment. Like the sun is your essence. 17 degrees is the Leo degree, so it's about enjoyment. Leo is ruled by the sun. And then Sagittarius is about the adventure, the seeker energy, right? So where have you kind of not been allowed to enjoy your authenticity and the expression of that because of your family? Okay, that's what that first one says, because you need to let that bitch go. Let that whole idea go. Then at 5:27 a.m., the moon trines Chiron. We're doing this at the Capricorn degree, which is a great degree to be having a trine to the childhood wound, because it is going to be helping you overcome places that you have questioned about who the fuck you are as a person. And you are going to be able to understand and see how that affects your confidence, right? And if you allow that fiery self to come through confidently, there is an untapped ability there that you have kind of had kept from you since you were a child, right? That's what Chiron is all about. And then we get this biquintal to Neptune at 29 degrees, okay, which is really now saying, okay, now let go of that idea, right? 23 degrees of Leo, the moon, so the weird aspects, right? The Aquarius degree, and then the confidence. And it's like something that you were told, right? Something that you were told that really belongs to your family line about, well, don't show up like that. People might think you're weird. That shit doesn't belong to you. You don't live in that world anymore, and that idea needs to be let go of. Then we get this semi-sextile, which is going to be annoying, okay? But it wants you to be open-minded about that sort of stuff, right? And we're dealing with 23 degrees of both Leo and Jupiter retrograding. So be open-minded and really allow the memories to kind of be seen in a different light, really, because then we get the moon and Saturn. Now we need a compromise. Okay, so Mars did square Saturn at 25 degrees. So now the moon is coming in. It's in conjunct with Saturn, and it is kind of saying, like, there is a little bit of tension here, and we're going to have to move towards a resolution. Okay, and then we get the fucking resolution laid out in front of us with the moon trining Mars at 26 degrees, the Taurus degree, and really saying, like, well, I mean, if you want to be stable, if you want to feel good, if you want the reward for hard work that you have put in, then you best find the skill of confidence and optimism and the journey, and you need to go towards it. Those two things are going to work together. Your inner child needs to work with that childlike spirit of adventure that the Sagittarius has, right? And then the Sagittarius, who's kind of the wisdom, needs to understand that the inner child that exists within the Leo archetype also holds wisdom, okay? So they need to work together, all right? Then 2:26 p.m. square to Mercury and 3:56 p.m. square to Uranus. You're going to be running late, okay? Just going to tell you right now, you're going to be running late. So square to Mercury, 27 degrees, the Gemini degree. So we've got some friction here. The curiosity is causing a little bit of friction here. Okay, what do you need to learn here? What do you need to communicate, maybe? okay? Because something needs to be communicated, something needs to be learned, something needs to be discussed, something needs to have curiosity around it within a discussion when it comes to probably something that came up during the Mercury retrograde that we are now seeing a bit more clearly. You know, this is the energy of like, okay, maybe somebody did something or said something during the Mercury retrograde and you didn't fully understand it, and now it's become very clear. And now we're going to have a fight about it because I will not be spoken to like that. I will not be treated like that, right? It's that kind of an energy, okay? It's also secretive. There could be secrets coming out here. This could be friction that causes a secret to be forced out. 4:10 p.m., the moon squares Lilith at 28 degrees, the Cancer degree. This could be a battle in a family. This is a moment of friction that asks you to really nurture your own self and to let go of the guilt and shame and the rejected parts of you that your family kind of taught you to reject. And these two energies together could really see... Did I miss one? I missed that square to Uranus. Right. So square to Uranus, square to Lilith. My bad. The square to Uranus is causing friction so that you can see something from a different perspective that you haven't been able to see from that perspective at some point during the last 8 years. Then Lilith comes in and brings that component that I was just rambling about of like, whatever it is that you fucking believed about yourself and rejected, stop it. Right? Stop it. And there will be some pretty feisty energy during that time. Be careful driving. This is the kind of energy where you won't know it, but the person next to you is in a very heated conversation with an ex or something and they're not paying attention, so they're not going to put their indicator on. Car accident. Mercury and Uranus are both related to movement and travel. Okay, so when we get squares, we get friction during travel. Okay, then when we're looking at things like Leo and Taurus, money, okay, ego, all right, stubbornness. So this from like what, 2 p.m. until like 5 p.m. 2 p.m. till 5 p.m. Just be really fucking careful, okay? Just be really careful. People are not going to be like as easy to read during that time. There's going to be a lot of internal noise for so many people. Then we get to 5:11 and then 10:12, and both of these quincunxes, right? So something is in conjunct. Something is asking for adjustment. There is a tension around, but I don't know how to resolve it yet. How do I resolve it? I mean, the energy will tell us. So we have all of this tension around here, and then, you know, we need to resolve it. So first we're going to try and resolve it with Neptune, okay? Now, this is the last aspect that Neptune will make, okay, before it stations direct. So this is asking, which is just so fucking interesting because we're dealing with Pisces and Leo, and we will be moving out of the Pisces axis into the Leo axis next year. So this is really showing you something here, okay? There is an amount of confidence fueled by ego that we actually need, that we need to take with us. And then there's part of it that we need to leave behind, right? Now, these two work very fucking nicely together because where is it that your ego or your confidence, whichever one is kind of running the show, where is it that how that presents in you is related to your childhood and the way that you're allowed to be confident in your childhood, or the way that you saw ego either through watching other people or yourself as a child, okay? Like something needs to be adjusted in your mentality around those concepts. Inner child, fun, pleasure, the expression of yourself. How do you fully express yourself, okay? Because Neptune at 29 degrees of Pisces, of course, is the 160-year cycle. So some of the ways in which your ancestors, your generations, your parents saw themselves is like playing a part in your own confidence, in your own understanding of ego, in your own creative expression. And this is sort of saying you need to kind of adjust the way you are looking at these emotional programs, right? And then the quincunx to Pluto, with now we're in a Virgo moon, right? And Virgo is kind of grounding some of this energy, and it's asking for, like, what are you going to do? What habits are you going to change, right? And at 2 degrees, that is a Taurus degree. So yes, what habits? What daily things are we changing in order to allow this version of us to emerge more confident, more connected to itself? And then this 11:16 p.m., you never see these aspects, okay? You never see them. Chiron making a biquintile to Lilith. Your childhood wound asking your places that you've rejected because of guilt and because of shame and because of fear of being misunderstood that you got from your family. The childhood wound says, I need you to let go of some of the ideas that you hold in that rejected space. Now, Chiron is generally related to the wound of the masculine energy. 22 degrees is a Capricorn degree, therefore the father. Lilith is generally related to the wounds you get from the mother energy, the feminine energy, and 28 degrees is the Cancer degree, and that is related to the mother, okay? Aries, obviously, we are starting shit off. We are about our identity, and Scorpio is the spiritual, right? So in order for these two things to understand each other, in order for these two things to work together, in order for them to understand how your spiritual side and how your masculine side and your directness with who you are, you need to let go of something that you thought was true. Okay. Let's get a little card for this day because there is some crazy aspects. Let's do a witch card because this is the last day, because at, I think it's like 11, hang on, let me get the time. 11:23 p.m. Neptune stations direct in Pisces at 29 degrees. What is your message, please? Witchy ancestors, what's your message? There be the ancestors, my friends, and there be your boundaries around them. I don't know what else to tell you. This card is number 22. This card is number 37. So, I mean, I don't even... This basically is what it is, okay? This one says the old ones and honoring. This one says casting a circle and boundaries. So what that says to me is cast your circles, witches, okay? The magic is yours. You have honored the ancestors. You continue to honor the ancestors, but you do not need to take with you anything that isn't going to serve you. That is where you're setting your boundaries. And I'll say it again, and I'll continue to say it. We are taking with us the wisdom of the ancestors. We are not taking the trauma and emotional programs. So, number 6, the herb garden medicinal on the bottom. Let the energy be your medicine, okay? I will do more videos on Neptune going direct. That's huge. Stay weird.